One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and great to see everyone in the chat. Let's go, man. So, as you guys can see, we do have an interesting morning. U.S. sinks Iranian warship, as well as Walz fraud hearing. And now, I haven't really seen too much of the fraud hearing yet. I've been watching for it live right now, but I think it's going to be sometime today. And then also, we have the White House press briefing that's going to be happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means about noon my time, and that means we'll be off the show by an hour by then. So at least you guys know it's going to be happening so that you guys can watch out for the White House press briefing. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and give you guys the lineup of what we're looking at this morning. It's a actually our largest news morning. We're just beating it. Monday morning, we had our largest Monday morning. Now we're going to have our largest morning, period. We have, I believe, 15 stories in total, dude. So, we're looking at this secret nuclear weapons site struck, IDF says. That happened right after our show yesterday, 4 hours after we got off the show. This was being reported. And then we have Iranian drone strikes U.S. consulate in Dubai, and I watched that happen yesterday. Then we have new video from yesterday as well. U.S. strikes Iran's Shahed drones. Those are the drones that not only is Iranian, their government using, but they also sell it to people like Putin, and he uses those Shahed drones in the war with Russia and Ukraine. So that's very interesting. It may put stalemate on to, well, at least for now, with the amount of supply and demand of drones, maybe they just took out a great amount of drones. I don't know. Then we have Marco Rubio clarifies U.S. objectives in Iran, and he gives a very quick update, so like a minute and a half, very quick. And then we have Iran operation. Pentagon identifies 4 U.S. soldiers killed, and yes, we do have what they actually look like and their pictures, sadly. And then 15 hours ago, U.S. Central Command update on Operation Epic Fury in Iran. Now, this garnished a humongous amount of views. I'm not really sure why that is, but a lot of these stories actually do garnish, of course, a lot of views. But on this one in particular, it got well over 1 million within 15 hours. That's very not unheard of, but it's very rare to happen. I mean, I'm the guy that watches this shit like a hawk and presents it. I know how many views each one of these have, and for some reason, this one's definitely up there. What is Iran's military strategy is the question, and of course, they're going to be going and answering that. Now, most of that's probably going to be speculation. Anytime we have speculation, we just move on. Trump, Iran running out of launchers amid operation. That is a quote from Trump. Iran is running out of launchers. And then we have, as of 13 hours ago, artificial intelligence could redefine military strategy in Iran. Now, of course, I would already have assumed that for sure. And then we have breaking from the Pentagon 10 hours ago. This was at midnight. Pentagon announces military action in Equator to fight, quote, terrorist organizations. Now, I'm sure that they're probably referring to what's below the equator over here on the Western Hemisphere. That's what, if I had to guess. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's on the other side. I don't know. We have from the IDF, by the way, this morning, 5 hours ago, the IDF claims Iranian Air Force fighter was, their jet was shot down. So we do have that report, and we also have more of that report here in a minute. There's another report coming out 4 hours ago that Iran has chosen a new supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, or however you say it, is his son is to succeed. So the son of the Ayatollah is now going to be the new chosen supreme leader, which I'm definitely not surprised by that pick either. We have 3 hours ago, breaking, Iran missiles fired at Turkey intercepted by NATO defenses. And then, of course, last but not least, we have some breaking stuff happening over there in the Pentagon. Hegseth and the Pentagon gives Iran war update this morning, and it just happened. So that is what we're looking at this morning, ladies and gentlemen. So before we get all into it, I got to give a big special shout out to the people sending in money already. You guys are amazing. We got Virginia Chaos that actually gifted out 2 right in the very, very beginning of us starting. Thank you very much for gifting out 2 memberships. I very much appreciate that. Sterling Will also gifting out a membership as well. Let's freaking go. I very much appreciate you, kind sir, as well. We got Papa D coming in with the 420. Absolutely one of my favorite numbers, by the way. Says, bless. Yes, sir. Well, thank you to all of you guys. Thanks for making that happen. And listen, let's go ahead and do our call to actions real quick so we can get right into the show. It's going to be a long one this morning. Please make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps out the show, and it's absolutely free to do so. If you guys are brand new here, make sure you guys subscribe. This is what we do Monday through Friday. Reporting world news, geopolitics, American news, American politics, all of it, breaking news. Make sure you guys follow along. And then, of course, for Saturday morning, we have members only, which we don't discuss anything that's happening in the news. That's like our one day to like not focus on the chaos, you know? But, you know, talking about memberships and stuff, please consider becoming a member starting only at $3.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, the campaign trail. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server for all of you legends. We have like 95% of you guys in the IWF in there. I want that to be 100%. So make sure you guys go into the video description down below. It'll have the invite link for the Discord there. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, by the way, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen. Of course, you guys can donate to those at any time. And, of course, I get 100% of the proceeds, which is amazing. And, of course, I'll read out whatever comes our way, just like a super chat. So I've got my email up, and if anything does come our way, I'll be on the lookout. So, all right, here we go. Great to see everyone in the chat, man. Thank you all for being here this morning. We got Big Al in the chat, my man. Good morning to you. I'm scrolling all the way up. I'm trying to see where you guys are at. We got Naomi in the chat. We got Prez as well. We got Brother Glare, 1%er in the building. Virginia Chaos, my man, already sending out those 2 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. We got Huggy as well as Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning to you. We got Charles Darwin from Down Under, and we got Steve Posey. Yes, sir, making it on time. That's a great thing. We got Carrie from Rob's Neighbor. Good morning, kind sir. Good morning, good morning. We got Papa D as well in the chat. We got Sterling Will. Appreciate you, kind sir, with sending us with a gifted membership. We got Lappy in the building as well as Dylan Patterson. Good morning, gentlemen. We got Pops, my man, and hopefully you and Mountain Woman are doing great. Great to see you, and would love an update when you can. We got Carney Vanguard as well as Toga. That means we've got to have Carney's Vanguard. We got to have Carney's ride in here. We got to have the coffee crew. Man, thank you, Motobomb and Carney, for sending your guys' people over here. I very much appreciate that. We got America Uncensored as well. Good morning. We got Desert Outlaw saying, W, we are live. That is true. We got Mississippi in the chat as well as Biker News Canada from up there in Canada. Good morning, kind sir. Let's see. We're scrolling our way down. We got Stealthy in the chat. Man, it's been a minute since I've seen you, Stealthy. Great to see you in the chat, bro. It's been a long time, but great to see you in here as well. We're on the, the YouTube side of live streaming nowadays. So if you ever want to come by, follow us over on YouTube at Insane Wheels, all one word. Let's see. We got Mississippi saying he's good morning. On my way to the doctor's psycho and occupational guy. She cannot walk yet. One good arm, very weak, no balance. We're just planning to rearrange the living room today. Got you, bro. Well, thank you for that update. God bless. And I'm definitely thinking about her for sure. All of us are. And Mr. Juan, that's terrible, bro. That's absolutely fucking terrible to hear. I'm super sorry to hear that. We got Claire as well. We got Jimmy Mac. Absolutely good morning. And we're almost caught up here. Sorry, guys. We got Dutch Carp as well. For you, it's good evening. Good morning from me on this side of the planet. All right. Let's go and bring what were our first story of the day here. And it's secret nuclear weapons site struck, the IDF claims. So let me go ahead and find that on here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
We are continuing to follow.
Now, a lot of these stories, they're long. We're not going to go ahead and listen to every fucking bit of it, okay? We're going to be skipping ahead. We've got like 15, 16 stories to get through this morning.
All breaking news developments as Operation Epic Fury now enters day 4. A live look there from Tel Aviv, Israel.
What's up, Grumple? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Let me go ahead and speed up this video a little bit.
As we've learned from the IDF, Hezbollah continues to launch strikes against Israel. And thank you for continuing to watch live now from Fox. I'm Stephanie.
Now, Hezbollah is up there in the north, just north of Israel in Lebanon. Okay, that's where Hezbollah resides.
When you just a little bit more about that breaking news
What's up, Miss
here.
Lotus?
This is
Good
a
morning.
social media post from Israel Defense Forces stating Hezbollah has continued to join Iran's terror campaign and has launched projectiles towards Israel. We do know that throughout the day, sirens have been sounding in Israel. Meantime, I also wanted to share this live look here from Beirut, Lebanon, and we continue to see plumes of smoke.
Yeah, it looks like
Israel.
It looks like this is a big plume of smoke right here, billowing right here, and then filling the sky. The skyline
is responding to Hezbollah's strikes. We do see the smoke there rising in the distance. Meantime, we also are continuing to follow additional developments. This is from Fox News stating that earlier today, Israel targeted Iranian leadership meeting about its succession. That is according to a senior Israeli official talking to Trey Yingst. To speak more on this, I do want to bring in Blaise Michal, the vice president for policy at...
Well, we really don't need to hear what Homeboy's got to say. Let's go ahead and skip ahead here, where they start breaking down some different tweets here, because there's a lot of different information in this. Let's go ahead
getting
and
this
hear
update here as well that I wanted to share. This is from the IDF stating that the IDF struck the covert compound in which the Iranian terror regime operates.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yahya Sinwar's involvement, Mississippi, absolutely.
To develop necessary capabilities for nuclear weapons in the site.
Or I should say what his involvement was. I should use the context was.
Of nuclear scientists operated covertly to develop a key component for nuclear weapons. The strike removes a key component in the Iranian regime's capability to develop nuclear weapons and joins a series of strikes conducted during Operation Rising Lion that were essential to eliminate the Iranian nuclear threat. Blaze, this coming just moments ago from the IDF. You know, we've been seeing the Israeli military and also its operatives really targeting, after months of surveillance. What can you share with us about this latest development?
Yeah, well, I think this just goes to show the nature of this Iranian regime, that it has continued to focus on trying to covertly build nuclear weapons capabilities, even after it's been sanctioned by President.
We already know that part, though, so we're going to go ahead and skip ahead. Now we're actually get a little bit of drawing here. Let's go ahead and see what this is.
States, even as it's been under threat over the past couple of months by President Trump, even as President Trump was trying to negotiate a deal, we know that the Iranians have been working towards a nuclear weapons capability.
And so this says the covert nuclear compound of the Iranian terror regime. The compound was intended to enable the necessary knowledge and the advancement of nuclear weapon development capabilities.
This was what triggered the war last June in the first place.
That is where the side of the mountain
Israeli
is.
intelligence and U.S. intelligence corroborated that they were trying.
Okay, so we already saw that. Let's go ahead and skip ahead here. Again, we have so many fucking stories to get through today that we just cannot wait. It looks like we have some more video footage from U.S. Central Command. The Iranian regime's killer drones have been a menace in the Middle East for years. These drones are no longer a tolerable risk. Well, at least those ones that you destroyed, but what about the ones that they're going to continue to make and shit like that?
No longer a tolerable risk, and we actually have some video to share with our viewers.
There we go.
Some unclassified video that the U.S. Central Command has shared as we take a look at these ongoing targeted strikes. And we were hearing from President Trump yesterday stating that he...
Yeah, Cameron, I actually was just seeing that development kind of happening before we started. Definitely not surprised on that. And yeah, I'm not surprised on that. We got Yo Mama's House in the chat. Good morning. Great to see you. And yes, I follow Tusi as well. And a lot of you guys, actually, it was Charles Darwin that was telling me that I needed to follow him for a long time. And then I did. And I follow what they've been reporting as well. Iran is not winning friends or influencing people right now. Yeah, that's definitely true as well.
Says that this operation could go on between 4 to 5 weeks, but possibly even longer. You know, has Israel indicated...
It'd be really nice if we were not there for 4 or 5 weeks. It'd be really nice.
...any sort of timeline on its end?
They have not, and I think it's probably too early to put a timeline on this. You know, I think the right thing to do is focus on the objectives, and the objectives have been clearly stated by the United States and Israel, which is to eliminate Iran's ability to be a threat to its own people and to its neighbors and the rest of the world. That means eliminating Iran's nuclear program, eliminating its ballistic missile program, eliminating its drones that we're seeing there, and eliminating its support for terrorism. And I think the good news is that is happening at a very rapid pace. You know, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of airstrikes having been conducted over the last 3 days, and we're seeing the results. You know, here at Jinsa, we're tracking. Obviously,
I want to see this. Security update for Americans in the Middle East. This is updated as of March 2nd at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Depart now via commercial means due to serious safety risks from Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, United Arab Emirates, Yemen. Damn, bro.
A major disruptor.
Crazy. All right, let's see if there's anything else in this. There is not. We're going to move on. See, we don't waste people's time here. Okay, Iranian drone strikes U.S. consulate in Dubai. This happened yesterday, approximately 19 hours ago in context here. I like being transparent with you guys. As you guys know, we start the show in a chronological order, leading us up into current time right now. So that's how that works.
As we also have this breaking news. This is from Fox and Friends stating...
And this is a very, very quick update.
That the U.S. consulate in Dubai has been hit by an Iranian drone. That is according to Fox News correspondent Trey Yings. To talk more on all of these breaking new developments, I did want to bring in retired CIA operations officer Rick De La Torre back to the show. And Rick, we always appreciate you joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Hey, Stephanie, thanks for having me.
So I did want to go to the breaking news first that we did just share with our viewers, is talking about the U.S. consulate in Dubai being hit by an Iranian drone. We have seen Iran...
Damn, Stealthy, you lived over there? For real? Damn, I didn't know that. Was that when you were deployed or something? Is that what you're referring to?
Really try and retaliate, focusing on these U.S. embassies and locations there in the Middle East. You know, what can you share about the ongoing onslaught that the Iranians are doing to try and target U.S.-based...
Real quick before they answer this, we got Josh Phillips over there on the Facebook side of things. Good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Great to see you, bro. And yeah, Stealthy says I was stationed there. That makes total sense. And by the way, welcome to the YouTube side of shit, by the way.
Locations.
Right. So if you look at what the Iranians did since hostilities began on Saturday, is they have made, in not just my opinion, but I think in many other folks' opinion, one of the largest strategic blunders that could ever have been made by actually attacking the other Gulf states like the UAE and Oman and Bahrain and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. They banded them all together now against Iran. The activities that they conduct in the Straits of Hormuz that you just talked about.
Now, the guy that's talking, by the way, is a retired CIA officer, just so you know.
A few moments ago. That's their oil that is not moving through there, not just Iranian oil, but Saudi oil too. So they have now just really, really thumbed their nose at all their Arab neighbors and have caused this Arab coalition now to unite behind U.S. and Israeli efforts.
Listen, when you attack these different bases, even though they are United States bases. And it's theoretically like our property. But the thing is, it's in their country, right? Let's say it's happening at Qatar or whatever. You think those guys over there in like Qatar or any of these other Gulf countries or any of the countries over there, do you think that they're just like, oh yeah, allow missiles to rain onto, you know, just because it's American base, well, fuck it. No, it's they're shooting into your country, you know, and so they don't like that shit.
So I think, sadly, we'll see more and more of these desperate measures as the remaining days of the Iranian regime come to a close. Well, they will be actively trying to strike out against any U.S. interests. We've seen some of that regarding data centers by U.S. companies located in the region.
Right, and we already do know that. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We got new video. U.S. strikes Iran's Shahed drones. Now, these are the drones that Putin's been ordering and using for his war from Iran. So this was definitely interesting. I'd like to know the amount of how many said drones they got rid of, because they're kind of acting like, oh yeah, we got rid of the drones and now we don't have to worry about that shit anymore. And that's not true.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We are now continuing to track all of these updates for you live out of the Middle East.
We've got Seymour Cannabis in the chat. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat as well.
We're getting more information, not only here stateside from some of the leaders and members of President Trump's administration, but also still watching to see how things are unfolding there in the Middle East and getting updates there as well. I do want to continue on that conversation with some news that we brought to you as it broke within the last hour. Putting this up on your screen from Fox News, saying there, breaking. The U.S. consulate in Dubai was hit by an Iranian drone. That was according to diplomatic sources telling that to Fox News. In fact, within the last hour, we've also had an update from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who confirmed this as well, saying that that drone struck an area in the parking lot, leading to a small fire. Of course, we want to continue on as we're watching these updates come into us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, I bet you Dubai ain't too fucking psyched on that shit.
And so to talk a little bit more about what we're seeing.
No, I don't need this guy to give us even more. I need facts. I need reports. And this is the next report we got here from Secretary Rubio. Let's see what is being said here. Backing it up.
A fire there that thankfully appears to have been contained. But the U.S. is also evacuating embassy staff from Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait, from Lebanon.
Okay, homie, shut up so she can read this.
Across the region. And of course, last night, the State Department issued...
Oh my goodness. Relax, homie. She's about to read this shit.
A few moments later.
Stop talking.
A directive or an advisory for U.S. citizens to leave all the countries in the region, including Israel. So there's clearly a real emergency here.
This guy's a dickhead.
The State Department is keen, obviously, to make sure that the exposure is minimized. As of bases,
dude, how long is he gonna fucking ramble for? Holy fuck!
And other in the facilities.
This fucking guy, I can't stand him. I cannot stand people like this. All right.
U.S. Central Command saying that the Iranian regime's...
Which we saw this already. Let's jump ahead and see what we got on this part.
Well, I think we have it's offensive case.
So we already saw this. We reported on that just a second ago, where you guys already have seen all of that. I want updates.
Its entrances were damaged today, and I am hearing talk of other targets.
Okay, sirens across Tel Aviv. And see if there's anything else. There is not. We're moving on. We ain't wasting anybody's time here. And especially not mine. And in turn, you guys are not getting wasted of time. So we have Rubio clarifies U.S. objectives in Iran. And this is actually a very quick update. It's 1 minute and 37 seconds. Let's go ahead and bring that up.
But our embassies and our diplomatic facilities are under direct attack from a terroristic regime. With an update,
real quick before I do, we got a lot of legends in here. We got Dark Soul in the chat. Good morning to you, kind sir, as well as Liquored Up with Poncho. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Whip 'em Out Wednesday. We got Hans Shadow Spawn over there on the Facebook side of things. Good morning to you as well. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. We got Baked Bizquick as well. Good morning to you guys.
Obviously refer you to the Department of War. Suffice it to say that our objectives remain as they've been identified from the beginning and by the president laid out clearly yesterday. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and we will now not allow Iran to hide behind the immunity of a massive short-term ballistic missile inventory or the ability to make them or launch them. And so CENTCOM...
By the way, we already have 100 people in here. Make sure you guys double tap the screen. If you're in the vertical side, if you're on the horizontal stream, make sure you guys hit that like button. You guys don't have to like all this craziness, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here.
In a joint operations is carrying out a systematic destruction of their missile belt, destruction of their launchers, and destruction of their ability to make these, as well as the destruction of their Navy. From what I've been told by the Department of War, everything is on or ahead of schedule and proceeding on these objectives. We have every confidence in the world that these objectives will be achieved. The last point I would make is, and I said this yesterday and I repeat, what's about to, you're about to see, we're going to unleash Chang on these people in the next few hours and days. You're going to really begin to perceive a change in the scope and in the intensity of these attacks as, frankly, the two most powerful air forces in the world take apart this terroristic regime and defang it and take away its ability.
He's talking about the U.S. Air Force and, of course, Israeli Air Force or air defense, whatever they're called.
To threaten its neighbors or hide behind a zone of immunity that allows them to develop their nuclear ambitions. This terroristic, radical, cleric-led regime cannot be ever allowed to have nuclear weapons. We saw what they were willing.
We definitely know that is your guys' go-to.
To do to their own people. They were willing to slaughter their own people in the streets.
And that part is true. That part is true.
Imagine what they would do to us. Imagine what they would do.
They can't even reach us.
To others. Under President Trump, that will never, ever happen.
There's only 5 countries in the entire world that can reach, they can throw a missile or a rocket, whatever, and hit something anywhere in the world. There's only 5 countries that can do it. Let's see if you guys know it. If you guys know the 5 countries, you guys say it in the chat. All right, we're going to move on into another ordeal here. Let me see if this is it. No, it's not. That's not either. I hate when it does. Okay, there it is. Iran operation. Pentagon identifies 4 U.S. soldiers killed. And yes, we actually do have the faces. This is a very, very quick update. It's only a minute. And we'll go ahead and tune into this.
Learning new information about the 6 individuals, or 4 of these 6, that paid the ultimate sacrifice as 6 U.S. service members died following...
Nope, that is not the country.
And in support of Operation Epic Fury. We're learning their identities tonight. And I want to put up some of these here on Live and Now from Fox as we continue on, including Captain Cody Cork of Lakeland, Florida. Also, we are following First Class Captain of Sergeant First Class Nicole Moore of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Also a Sergeant First Class there. Noah Tejans of Bellevue.
And they died from the strikes.
Nebraska, and Sergeant Declan Cody of Des Moines, Iowa. They were deployed out of Iowa as these now 4 of these 6 individuals identified following that incident in Kuwait. And you can just see here.
Now you're getting very, very close there, Yo Mama's house. So China, Russia, United States is correct. You need 2 others. China, Russia, United States is correct. There's 2 other countries.
Here again, at 35, 42, 39,
Israel
and 20-year-old
cannot.
Losing their lives. And on social media, Major General saying to the families and teammates
What's up,
of those
Good morning.
This nation soldiers, you have my deepest sympathy and respect. Our nation is kept safe by folks like these brave men and women who put it all on the line every single day. They represent the heart of America. We will remember their names, their service, and their sacrifice.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right, so to give you guys the answer, by the way, the other 2 that you guys are missing from this whole thing. So Living says USA, Russia, China, UK, and I don't know. So you're right about the UK. So you got the UK, and the other is France. So USA, Russia, China, UK, and France. And India can't do it either. India does not have the capability to hit anywhere on the planet. Interesting, though. All right, so now we're going to move on into a new U.S. Central Command update on Operation Epic Fury in Iran. Now, this is the video, for some weird reason, garnished so many fucking views. I'm not really sure why, but we're going to find out right now.
A live picture in Tel Aviv, Israel, as new operations, new details on exactly what was struck. We saw over 1,000 targets struck as of yesterday, and that continues to increase. Let's take you out to this, a video posted by Central Command on social media about some of their operations. Let's listen in here on
You were right there, Living.
Afternoon.
Right there.
I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of United States Central Command. In this capacity, I lead U.S. military forces in the Middle East. I'm here to provide you an update on Operation Epic Fury, now in our 4th day of execution. First, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the families and teammates of the extraordinary Americans who've been killed in action. And I'd also like to extend our prayers for a speedy recovery to the wounded. Yesterday, you heard from Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Today, I'd like to give you an operational update on where we are and provide you with some key facts. By order of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, our military in the Middle East is undertaking an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans, as they've been doing for nearly half a century. Having spent more than 36 years in the military, I could not be prouder of America's sons and daughters in uniform who are answering the call. More than 50,000 troops, 200 fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and bombers from the United States are participating in this operation, and more capability is on the way. These forces...
Wow, got to give a big shout out to my man Big Al sending us $5 on the Cash App just now saying, money me, money now. Bro, absolutely. We haven't even gotten the money part over with, you know, so good call.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Shit. And then Agrippa is coming in with the 5 gifted as well. Holy fucking shit. Let's go. Not only helping me, but you're helping 5 others in the IWF, my man. I very much appreciate that. And great to see you in the chat, Agrippa. Thank you for that.
Bring a massive amount of firepower.
Thank you, Big Al, too.
Representing the largest buildup by the U.S. in the Middle East in a generation. In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale, and we continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions. We have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. And in simple terms, we're focused on shooting all the things that can shoot at us. Our B-2 bombers and B-1 bombers have executed uncontested surgical strikes against multiple missile facilities deep inside Iran. And then just last night, a B-52 bomber force struck ballistic missile and command and control posts.
Fucking things are badass.
We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far,
they said we are sinking their Navy, the entire Navy. Damn, motherfucker.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
We've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman. And we will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We're hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers.
Man, they really are going to just take out everything they've got.
To eliminate what I would characterize as their lingering launch capability.
What's up, brother GEG? Good morning to you. And we got brother Lee Lance as well. Good morning to you as well. Shit. Good morning.
Now, in retaliation, the Iranian regime has launched over 500 ballistic missiles and over 2,000 drones. To be clear, Iran is indiscriminately targeting civilians as they launch these missiles.
Okay, so let me explain, Charles. So you know the 2 aircraft carriers that are down in the Gulf area, whatever? So those 2 are not working at the exact same time. You got to understand that this is about longevity. It's not about brute force. So what it is you've got basically just, let's just say 5,000 people on one aircraft carrier, 5,000 on the other. Shit breaks, you need supplies, you need all this shit. So the way it works is it's kind of like day and night shift. So you've got one aircraft carrier doing the day shift kind of thing, and then into the 12-hour, next cycle, the other aircraft carrier starts working, and then the other one shuts down. And then you've got people that are doing maintenance on shit during that time that they're down, quote unquote, and they're doing a whole bunch of maintenance. That's how they do this shit. So that's anytime they've got 2 aircraft carriers in tandem, they don't use both of them at the exact same time, unless it's super emergency, but they try to do for longevity. So that's what they do. Anyways.
And drones. You've seen it on TV. The evidence is crystal clear and overwhelming. Having said this, we are seeing Iran's ability to hit us and our partners is declining, while our combat power, on the other hand, is building. And my overall operational assessment is that we are ahead of our game plan. Along the way, every single branch of our military is achieving unprecedented success. I'll talk about just a few of them. Our naval forces have deployed multiple waves of cruise missiles, obliterating Iranian command and control and air defense capabilities. From 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, we're squeezing Iran from the sea and have them backed into their own ports. U.S. Air Forces are doing what they do best.
That's very true, Seymour. That is actively happening.
Executing a high volume of airstrikes right into Iran. Operationally, the 2 most powerful air forces in the world, the U.S. and Israel, are dominating the skies of the world's largest state sponsor of terror.
Yes, we actually have complete access over their entire sky right now.
Our U.S. Army soldiers are defending ourselves and our partners, and in a historic first, the U.S.
They say we own 100% of the air.
Army fired long-range precision strike missiles called PRISMs in combat, providing an unrivaled deep strike capability. Also, for the first time, U.S. Central Command's drone task force, called Task Force Scorpion Strike, launched countless one-way attack drones, achieving massive effects.
That's right, Eric, 100%.
These drones were originally an Iranian design. We took them back to America, made them better, and fired them right back at Iran. I just could not be prouder of our men and women in uniform, leveraging innovation to create dilemmas for the enemy. There is no adversary too determined, no mission too difficult for the great soldiers.
What's up, brother Pitbull over there in the UK? Good morning, or good afternoon to you from over here in the morning.
Sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen that make up the most powerful military the world has ever seen. Our military objectives are crystal clear, and our people are executing an immensely complex and historic mission with relentless lethality, conviction, and professionalism. And we've just begun. But I have the utmost confidence that we, alongside our partners, will absolutely achieve our military objectives. To all our warriors, Godspeed. Thanks so much.
So that's an update from Central Command right there. All right, so we're going to move on. What is Iran's military strategy is the question here. Now, I'm not really sure who they're bringing on here to discuss this. It depends on who they bring on, if it's even worth listening to. We'll see here.
And so as we're talking about some of the military side of things, I do want to put this up on your screen. This has been put out there by Fox News within the last hour or so, saying that the U.S. consulate in Dubai was hit.
We already know that. We already reported that. Oh, yeah, no, we ain't listening to this motherfucker. Let's see if they have any other updates in this. No, we already reported that too. We reported this map already. We already reported this tweet. Okay, so we're moving on. Fuck that one. Trump, he says Iran is, quote, running out of launchers amid operations. So let's go ahead and bring that up, and we'll go ahead and discuss that real quick. What's up, Two Will Jesus? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, by the way, bro. All right, here we go.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. We're continuing to follow the latest details now 4 days into this conflict in Iran following Operation Epic Fury early on Saturday. And right now we're learning President Trump saying in the Oval Office and also to several reporters that Iran is decimated, saying they're running out of different weapons. A live look right now at the White House here on this Tuesday evening. Let's be joined right now by Politico White House correspondent Sophia Kai. You spoke on the phone for President Trump very briefly, talking about what's going on in Iran. What can you tell us about this conversation? What did he say directly to you?
What's up, brother Sick Bastard? Good morning.
Look, he told me that Iran was running out of launchers. He also, seems very confident about the weapon supply that the U.S. has, saying that he has unlimited. But he also told me something that's very key, which is he said, we'll save it and we'll build it. He said that U.S. defense companies are under emergency orders to restock the
that's a good question, Papa D.
U.S. weapon supply. He did not specify which ones or provide any evidence to show that Iran was running out, but presumably he's been briefed on something specific as Iran.
By the way, we've got 146 people in here between the two streams. Make sure you guys double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side and hit that like button if you guys are on the horizontal. Listen, you guys don't have to like all this crazy shit that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So
running out of launchers.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about the timeline, how long this could last, because President Trump has had the projections at 4 to 5 weeks, and those armaments can only last so far.
Especially in the Middle East, Jimmy Mack.
He did not. He did not give me a timeline. And he also said at a separate, unrelated Medal of Honor ceremony yesterday that, it'll take however long it takes. That's fine.
They're both on YouTube, Too Well Jesus. If you go over to my live section, it'll show two different lives.
Which really tells you that right now the administration doesn't know when the military operation in the Middle East will end. And today, at the same time, the U.S. is essentially evacuating Americans from all of the Middle East. We're talking about 9,000 Americans who are still left in the region that the U.S. government, or citizens are finding ways to evacuate themselves. They will have to find a way to leave the region.
Yeah, that is very concerning for so many in there. I think it was the figure was about 9,000 already getting out. I do want to ask you about the objectives and potentially what comes after, what's happening on the day after.
Well, I really don't care about that shit. What I care about is them, Trump's saying to Politico that Iran is running out of launchers. That's what I really want to get to here.
But as of today, if you called the hotline, the first thing you hear is a message to say, do not rely on the government to get you out. After questions.
Yeah, that sounds like any other situation, bro. I mean, yeah, you may have an embassy like in Sweden that gives a shit about you. They'll do their fucking damnness and get you back home or whatever. But you're talking about places like fucking Iran, where we don't have any embassies over there, but over there in the Middle East, we do have embassies. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, it's, same thing with Mexico, bro. You get caught up. Let's just see if any of those motherfuckers are going to be willing to get you back home safely. I highly think not.
About this
I know not, actually.
That people on the other end were hearing. The State Department did say that it was starting to organize charter flights to help Americans out. But, as of now, we don't know exactly what the timeline or the specific procedure is to get those Americans out.
Yeah, obviously, this could still unfold for quite some time. They're working to make that happen. You only spent about 4 minutes on the phone with President Trump today talking about this Operation Epic Fury, what's going on in Iran.
Shit, Eric. Well, sorry to hear that you got sick with the flu, man. That sucks. Trust me, I become a total baby when it comes to being sick.
What questions didn't you
hopefully
get to?
You feel
what
better.
do you hope to answer potentially in the coming days if you have a chance to ask him again?
Well, I'll tell you about one other piece of our conversation. I asked him if he wants Iran to come and play in the World Cup that the U.S., Canada, and Mexico is hosting. And right now, Iran is scheduled to be in 3 matches in the U.S. And the president said, I really don't care. He repeated it twice. And, it's a pretty striking remark from someone who likes to be the consummate host. He loves to have sports as the thing that brings people together. And I think it's a reflection of his mindset and where he is with the regime right now is that, perhaps the World Cup is not top of mind. And I guess he doesn't care if Iran comes. I should mention, when it comes to FIFA has been putting together.
Okay. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Moving on, artificial intelligence could redefine military strategy in Iran. Let's go ahead and bring that up now. And you know what? Iran needs to embrace their fuck-ups. You know what I mean?
Beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Embrace thy process. All right, here we go.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Live Now. I'm Austin Westfall. Some looks of what CENTCOM has been posting. Over the past 24 hours, they have been keeping their social feeds active as they give us images of what their military actions have been looking like in recent days. As the U.S. and Israel press their campaign against Iran, artificial intelligence is quietly becoming a central player on the battlefield.
Well, I would assume that everyone already thought and knew that.
Speeding up targeting, analyzing intelligence, and raising new questions about human oversight in war. Standing by is Paul.
Yeah, me too, Jimmy Mac, for sure.
Powers. He's a cybersecurity expert and the CEO of FISNA. Paul, the big question for me
that's their audio, by the way, not mine. That's their side doing that fucking lame-ass sound.
How is AI being used by the U.S. and Israel in the current military operations, from targeting to real-time decision-making? How is it giving their capabilities a boost?
Well, luckily, we've had with this administration quite a lot of investment into AI, and what AI is really
extremely. There's a lot of investment in AI. Just look at NVIDIA stocks.
Being used for right now is tactical advantage, right? So it's compressing decision-making timelines, allowing warfighters to make better decisions a lot faster than they could in the past. It's allowing automated targeting. I think it's just essentially giving us even more dominance than what we would otherwise have in the past, which is fantastic. It's ultimately going to cost.
I don't know. Let me see who's here.
Less lives. I think that there's this old adage in the military, though, that amateurs talk about tactics and professionals talk about logistics. And I think that what we're going to see come out of this is this aligns very neatly with the 2026 defense policy. Is that we're going to realize that, especially for a war of this kind, where we're sending large amounts of our Navy and our Air Force overseas across the world to go fight for extended combat operations, what becomes just as
I don't know. He just left, though. I don't have a friend in that kind of car, so I don't know.
Critical is our ability to win when we reach the front line, is our ability to be on the front line, first and foremost. And that's an area of AI that hasn't received as much attention. There are some leaders in the Air Force and the Navy that, have actually stepped up and said this is something that we need to focus on. And I expect that, this administration is actually going to be rewarding those who are leading that charge, because it's an area where I think AI can actually have the biggest impact. It's not the flashy things like automated targeting drones. It's actually the things that might sound more boring, like making sure that your fleet.
Thank you for that, Eric. I very much appreciate that. All right, I think we all know about the artificial intelligence shit. I am going to check my car, though, just in case, because it is unlocked. So I'm going to go ahead and check it real quick, just in case. I don't know how long that motherfucker was here, so I'm going to go check that shit real quick. But I'm going to show you guys this quick little update from the Pentagon announces military action in Ecuador to fight, quote, terrorist organizations. This came out 10 hours ago, so meaning at midnight this came out. Let's go ahead and check this out, and here we go.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi, and we are covering some breaking news out of Ecuador tonight. This is from the New York Times, saying the U.S. conducted joint military operations.
Did she? Oh, it is Ecuador. I just read it too fast. I said Equator. My bad, guys. Ecuador. Sorry.
With Ecuador against designated terrorist organizations. That's according to the Pentagon. U.S. Southern Command also posting this video of the operation on X tonight. The Pentagon, according to Reuters, is saying that Ecuadorian and U.S. forces launched those joint operations to combat drug trafficking, according to U.S. Southern Command, although neither side gave more details on the operation. Southern Command is the U.S. military's combatant command that encompasses 31 countries throughout the South and Central America, as well as the Caribbean. Ecuador's defense ministry said in a statement it was working with the U.S. in offensive operation and added that the details of this are classified. This announcement comes after the president of Ecuador said Monday that his government would conduct those joint operations with the U.S. and other allies in March, framing this effort as, quote, a new phase against narco-terrorism and illegal mining. And we also have the tweet that came with this video from U.S. Southern Command. They said on March 3rd, Ecuadorian and U.S. military forces launched operations against designated terrorist organizations in Ecuador. The operations are a powerful example of the commitment of partners in Latin America and the Caribbean to combat the scourge of narco-terrorism. They say, together we are taking decisive action to confront narco-terrorists who have long inflicted terror, violence, and corruption on citizens throughout the hemisphere. We commend the men and women of the Ecuadorian armed forces for their unwavering commitment to this fight, demonstrated courage and resolve through continued actions against narco-terrorists in their country. That's coming from U.S. Southern Command, along with that video.
Shit already did, cuh. Watch your own pockets.
Of the operation there in Ecuador targeting terrorist organizations and drug trafficking.
Shit. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We got the IDF here giving an update here. Iranian Air Force fighter jet shot down. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Here we go.
See a bit of that smoke there in the distance. It's a little bit hazy right now, but that does concern the aftermath of some of those strikes that we have been seeing throughout the last several hours. Joining us now onto the program to discuss all of this is Alex Trayman. He is the CEO and the Jerusalem Bureau Chief at
I appreciate that.
the Jewish News Syndicate. Alex, good morning.
Good morning, Carol.
As we see all of these developments, Alex, how would you describe the current phase of this conflict between Israel and Iran as of today?
Well, I think by all accounts, the Israeli military.
We already know this kind of stuff, though. I want to get to the jet being shot down. There's the update. There's the report. So we don't need to listen to 3 minutes of rambling, you know, to get to what we need.
To yet another new social media post from the Israel Defense Forces. Here on the screen, it says this: Iranian jet shot down and an IAF F-351 Deer fighter jet shot down at Iranian Air Force Yak-130 fighter jet. This is the first shoot down in the history of a manned fighter aircraft by an F-35 fighter jet. Going off of this, and again, it's a very fluid situation here. We're getting these updates second by second. Sometimes it does seem. Alex, how effective have the Israel's defense systems been in this latest round of strikes? What does that mean for civilians in the short term on the ground?
Well, first of all, I mean, the F-35 Adir is the world's most sophisticated fighting aircraft, and it's new online relative to some of the other aircraft. Israel has figured out how to use these aircraft even better than maybe was anticipated upon delivery. Israel figured out how to retrofit these Adirs with additional fuel, even though there is now over the skies immense refueling capacity. I don't think that any of the Iranian pilots are going to be a match for the Israeli pilots, especially flying these superior aircraft. The Israeli missile defense systems, again, just proving like Israel has superior technological advantage here. Israel has complete air superiority over.
Yeah, it's an Iranian jet that was
the
shot
skies
down.
Of Iran, and Israel also has very sophisticated layers of missile defense, and we don't see the Iranian Air Force flying over Israel right now. They're launching ballistic missiles. Thank goodness Israel has been able to intercept the overwhelming majority of them. What we've seen here on the ground is less attacks. On Saturday there were more than twice as many attacks as there were on Sunday, and we keep seeing a decreasing amount. So as the CENTCOM spokesperson said, Israel and the United States have been targeting the launch pads, the mobile launch.
Yes, and we already have been reporting that. We don't need to hear that. We actually got a little bit of footage here on something.
Demilitarized agreement. And even now, when you hear the calls from the Lebanese government saying that they're going to outlaw any Hezbollah military activity, but they only want Hezbollah to be directed toward political activity. I mean, this shows you the strategic mistake. They're basically saying that Hezbollah can continue to exist in a political capacity, and Hezbollah has numerous members, if not even close to a majority of the members of the Lebanese parliament. So Hezbollah and Lebanon are somewhat synonymous, even though, of course, there is a significant portion of this population, particularly the Christian portion of the population, that is against Hezbollah, that has suffered at the hands of Hezbollah. But the only force in the Middle East that's going to actually roll back Hezbollah's capacity, it's not the Lebanese army or the Lebanese government, it's the IDF.
Just a reminder to our viewers here that while we are filtering through some of the live images we have, this one came to us earlier on today as those strikes were being conducted against Hezbollah forces in Beirut. Those strikes.
So that's what that's an Israeli operation, has nothing to do with United States. So anyways, we're going to move on. We have a report here as of 5 hours ago. Iran has chosen new supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali. His son is actually to be the one to succeed. So let's go ahead and bring this up.
Continuing to follow any and all new developments regarding the escalating strikes and the fighting happening in the Middle East. And I want to turn now to a social media post here, courtesy of the New York Post, because we're also tracking everything happening on the ground in Iran after the supreme leader was killed in the initial strikes conducted by the U.S. and Israel early on Saturday. So take a look at this. It says Ayatollah Khamenei's successor will be, quote, unequivocal a target for elimination, Israeli defense minister threatened. So this does bring the question, who has been selected to be the successor of Khamenei and the new supreme leader? Joining us now to talk about all of this is Jonathan Sayeh. He is an Iran program research analyst at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Jonathan, good to have you on.
Hi, it's great to be with you again.
So what are we hearing about these reports? Because they started coming out yesterday in terms of who is going to be the new Iranian supreme leader, but do we know anything for a fact at the moment?
Nothing is certain, but we do know there are two prime candidates that could take on the role. of course, you need clerical backing and you need institutional credibility to become the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic. One of those choices is a person named Arafi. He's a lesser-known Ayatollah. Of course, he's part of the leadership council. That said, I think all signs are not pointing at him, but at the former supreme leader's son, Mojtaba. He has great ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. He has been really acting deputy on behalf of his father when his father was still alive. So he knows how to play the political game. That said, he's never exercised it himself. And I think the second...
Right, but at least, you know, he grew up with his father, obviously, as the supreme leader for how many years? Since the 80s?
Really notion that would signal to us, if it were to be the supreme leader's son, is that number one, the Islamic Republic is going after a monarchy form of succession, that your son receives that role from the father. That's one. And two, it also signals that by choosing a person who is affiliated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and a person who, of course, has been involved in such detailed hardline politics, it signals that the Tehran as a whole is not really going after compromise, or at least an image of compromise, and instead they're opting out for escalation.
So staying with this, then, how might this new leadership structure influence its foreign policy and relations with its neighbors? Because right now, if Iran...
Well, the problem is he doesn't have any type of super influence yet. And but listen, anyways, we got the facts straight that this is the next man to be the next quote-unquote supreme leader. All right. We don't need to sit here and discuss it for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? We're going to move on. We have an update from this morning as well. 4 hours ago, it was breaking. Iran missile fired at Turkey, intercepted by NATO defenses. Let's go ahead and bring that up, and we will discuss that as well. Also, you guys need to obey, dude.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Shit.
Denied.
But I still love you guys. I still love you. All right, here we go.
This is coming in from Fox and Friends, and Fox's Trey Yingst, a good friend of the show, who said, breaking, NATO defenses shoot down Iranian missile fired toward Turkey. That's according to the Defense Ministry. The incident marks the first time that a country like Turkey has received Iranian missile fire. How significant is that? I mean, we're talking about the first...
What's up, Extra Surprise? Good morning.
...time that they've seen that.
Yeah, I think it's very significant. Turkey's an extremely capable military force. I believe it is possible, if Turkey feels threatened by an expansion of the violence from Iran to threaten their people, that could be, think of that as a black swan. You know, Turkey's got a capable Navy, a capable Air Force, capable ground forces. You know, and with that, I'd also like to add that there are other groups. There are the Kurds in northern Iraq and in Iran. I've been reading some indicators in some national news in the last 24 hours that some of the Kurds within Iran have been discussing the possibility of trying to help arm and mobilize the Iranian populace. And so I do think, you know, thinking about looking forward to the Secretary's comments and the Chairman's comments, my assumption is that those are things that are going to be outside of U.S. control. How does the Iranian population react? We do know and assess that I believe last numbers I saw were somewhere between 20 to 30% of the Iranian population is actually aligned with the clerical regime and their ideological worldview. That would mean 70% to, who knows, perhaps 80% of Iranians do not agree with that. And again, that underlines the absolute criticality of how intelligence-driven precision warfare means reducing civilian casualties, means not alienating the Iranians. And I think another key talking point I would anticipate based on Secretary Hegseth's past remarks and how I know our military operates are that there's not going to be a lot of conversation about another Iraq. There's not going to be a lot of conversation about another Afghanistan and putting American boots on the ground. I think, and I guess I hope there are questions.
Yeah, that's some bullshit real quick. We got 260, now 213 people in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen if you're on the vertical side and hit that like button on the horizontal. Thank you, guys.
If there are question time from the media about what does that look like, you know, the United States is likely to have somewhat limited objectives here. No more offensive military threats from Iran. No more nuclear capability pursuit by Iran.
And thank you for that, Papa D. We'll see you on the flip side, my man. and we're actually on our very, very last story right here, right now, is Hegseth and the Pentagon gives Iran war update. This just came out this morning, just an hour ago. So let's go and bring that up and we'll discuss it here. Let's go.
Well, good morning. I stand before you today with one unmistakable message about Operation Epic Fury. America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. Under the direct command
be good out there, Warland, as well,
of President Trump, the War Department unleashed this operation early Saturday morning, just 4 days ago, which means we need to remember two things. First, we are only 4 days into this. Metrics are shifting, dust is settling, and more forces are arriving. It's very early. And as President Trump has said, we will take all the time we need to make sure that we succeed. Second, we are only 4 days into this. And the results have been incredible. Historic, really. Only the United States of America could lead this. Only us. But when you add the Israeli Defense Forces,
go read them yourself.
Devastatingly capable force,
they're online.
The combination is sheer destruction for our radical Islamist Iranian adversaries. They are toast, and they know it. Or at least, soon enough, they will know it. And we have only just begun to hunt, dismantle, demoralize, destroy, and defeat their capabilities, just 4 days in. Starting last night and to be completed in a few days, in under a week, the two most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. I hope all the folks watching understand what uncontested airspace and complete control means. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders, flying over Tehran, flying over Iran, flying over their capital, flying over the IRGC, Iranian leaders looking up and seeing only U.S. and Israeli air power every minute of every day until we decide it's over. And Iran will be able to do nothing about it. B-2s, B-52s, B-1s, Predator drones, fighters, controlling the skies, picking targets. Death and destruction from the sky all day long. We're playing for keeps. Our warfighters have maximum authorities granted personally by the president and yours truly. Our rules of engagement are bold, precise, and designed to unleash American power, not shackle it. This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not a fair fight. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be. Thus far, Operation Epic Fury has delivered twice the air power of shock and awe of Iraq in 2003, minus Paul Bremer and the nation building. The campaign has 7 times the intensity of Israel's previous operations against Iran during the 12-day war, 7 times. And as President Trump said, more and larger waves are coming. We are just getting started. We are accelerating, not decelerating. Iran's capabilities are evaporating by the hour, while American strength grows fiercer, smarter, and utterly dominant. More bombers and more fighters are arriving just today. And now, with complete control of the skies, we will be using 500-pound, 1,000-pound, and 2,000-pound GPS and laser-guided precision gravity bombs, of which we have a nearly unlimited stockpile. We used more exquisite standoff munitions at the start, but no longer need to. Our stockpiles of those, as well as Patriots, remains extremely strong. The enemy can no longer shoot the volume of missiles they once did, not even close. And the chairman will lay out some of those percentages. So our air defenses and that of our allies have plenty of runway. We can sustain this fight easily for as long as we need to. And as I said yesterday, we set the terms. Now, you may not see much of it because the IRGC shut off the internet to the entirety of the country. They blind their people on purpose, just like they kill their own on purpose. Much was made of the volume of missiles Iran was able to shoot in the first few days. And sadly, as we projected, a few got through and killed 6 of our best, who will hopefully arrive home soon. We will avenge them, no doubt. But I liken Iran's predicament to a football team who scripted the first 20 plays of a game. The team knew
What's up, brother Hardwire? Good morning to you.
What plays to run because their first few drives were scripted. But now that the game has started and the blitz is on, they don't know what plays to call, let alone how to get in the huddle and call those plays. Iran's senior leaders are dead. The so-called governing council that might have selected a successor, dead, missing, or cowering in bunkers, too terrified to even...
Guys, do me a favor. The likes are way too low. We have 381 people in here. Make sure you guys double tap that screen if you're on the vertical. Hit that like if you're on the horizontal. Thank you, guys.
And occupy the same room. Senior generals, mid-level officers, enlisted ranks, they can't talk or communicate, let alone mount a coordinated and sustained offensive. That's not great for morale. The Iranian Air Force is no more, built for 1996, destroyed in 2026. The Iranian Navy rests at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Combat ineffective, decimated, destroyed, defeated, pick your adjective. In fact, last night, we sunk their prize ship, the Soleimani. Looks like POTUS got him twice. Their Navy, not a factor. Pick your adjective, it is no more. In fact, yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, and we'll play it on the screen there, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II. Like in that war, back when we were still the War Department, we are fighting to win. Also, yesterday, the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh. Now, this is not a mission accomplished situation. This is simply a reality check. The combination of U.S. and Israeli intelligence and combat power will control Iran, and will control it soon. Sure, Iran will still be able to shoot some missiles and still be able to launch one-way attack drones at civilian targets, and their proxies will attempt to attack our embassies, bases, and soft targets. They are terrorists, after all, and they need to target civilians because they can't fight toe-to-toe. But we will find them, and we will kill them. This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step. As I said Monday, the mission is laser focused. Obliterate Iran's missiles and drones and facilities that produce them, annihilate its navy and critical security infrastructure, and sever their pathway to nuclear weapons. Iran will never possess a nuclear bomb, not on our watch, not ever. And this is why President Trump's moral clarity on Iran today is so vital. Unlike the past, where vague red lines and endless negotiations let Iran fund terror and inch ever so slightly toward a bomb, this president sees the threat plainly and acts decisively. No more half measures, especially when Iran is at its weakest. No more letting Tehran play for time while our people pay the price. His leadership ensures that we finish what we start and that we protect our warfighters by crushing the enemy before they can strike again. Our offensive operations, refined through months of relentless preparation, are unstoppable. And our defensive efforts are unprecedented. We have from the start put the protection of our troops ahead of everything else. Before we very publicly built up offensive combat power, we quietly ensured that our defensive posture and power was in place. And as we built up offensive combat power, we moved the vast majority of American troops, over 90% of Americans that were on our bases, what we say off the X, out of the range of Iranian fire. Our defensive shield is equally formidable, the most sophisticated air and missile defense network ever fielded. Thousands of Iranian missiles and drones have been intercepted and vaporized. Tens of thousands of American and allied lives protected. We have pushed every counter-UAS system possible forward, sparing no expense or capability. And like I said, this does not mean we can stop everything, but we ensured that the maximum possible defense and maximum possible force protection was set up before we went on offense. In closing, as President Trump told German Chancellor Merz yesterday, Iran negotiated in bad faith, stalling, scheming, and preparing to strike. And we acted decisively to defend our people, our interests, and our allies. President Trump took bold action, putting America first, the kind of bold action that the American people elected him to execute. To our steadfast partner, Israel, your mission is being executed with unmatched skill and iron determination. Fighting shoulder to shoulder with such a capable ally is a true force multiplier and a breath of fresh air. We salute your courage and your contribution. 4 days in, we have only just begun to fight. America fights to win, and in Operation Epic Fury, we are. May God's providence cover and protect our troops always. And with that, I turn it over to the chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm here today to provide the American people and those of you in this room an update on Operation Epic Fury. First, it's with profound sadness and gratitude that I share the names of 4 of our 6 fallen heroes, all from the 103rd Sustainment Command, U.S. Army Reserves out of Des Moines, Iowa. Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Noah Degens, Sergeant First Class Nicole Amore, and Sergeant Declan Cody. To the families of our fallen, we grieve with you today, and we look forward to welcoming your family members home at Dover in the coming days. Out of respect for the other families, we'll withhold the release of their names until next of kin notification is complete. And either myself or Admiral Cooper will release those names as soon as we can ensure that all of those families have been properly notified. To our Gold Star families, to our wounded warriors and their loved ones, we will never forget your sacrifice. Our nation stands with you, and we are eternally grateful for your courage, your resiliency, your devotion to this mission and to our nation. As the Secretary said, we're 4 days in, 103 hours into this campaign. The operation was again launched with clear military objectives designed to dismantle Iran's ability to project power outside of its borders, both today and in the future. First, we are targeting and eliminating Iran's ballistic missile systems to prevent them from threatening the U.S. Forces, partners, and interests in the region. Second, we are destroying the Iranian Navy, degrading its capacity, capability, and ability to conduct operations.
What's up, Kurt? Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you are having a fantastic Whip 'em Out Wednesday.
Not just in the Central Command AOR, but as the Secretary showed in the video, around the world. Third, we're ensuring Iran cannot rapidly rebuild or reconstitute its combat capability or combat power, and those phases will begin as the campaign continues. As of this morning, U.S. Central Command is making steady progress. Iran's theater ballistic missile shots fired are down 86% from the first day of fighting, with a 23% decrease just in the last 24 hours. And their one-way attack drone shots are down 73% from the opening days. This progress has allowed CENTCOM to establish localized air superiority across the southern flank of the Iranian coast and penetrate their defenses with overwhelming precision and firepower. We will now begin to expand inland, striking progressive aggressively deeper into Iranian territory and creating additional freedom of maneuver for U.S. forces. Let me explain a little bit about how we're thinking about staying ahead of the enemy. First, over the past several weeks, Admiral Cooper and the CENTCOM team have refined their operational approach to the region. Their planners identified key centers of gravity that would allow Iran to project power outside of its borders. They thought about how to isolate critical vulnerabilities and determined where, with precision, the greatest strategic effect could be achieved. As a result of this, CENTCOM is now shifting, in day 4 already, from large, deliberate strike packages using standoff munitions at range outside an enemy's ability to shoot at us, now into stand-in precision strikes overhead Iran. As the Secretary said, this is a point of munitions transition from standoff munitions to stand-in munitions like Joint Direct Attack munitions, which are GPS-aided free-fall weapons, and other things like Hellfires, etc. This will allow the joint force to deliver significantly increased precision effects on the target. The throttle is coming up, as the Secretary said, as opposed to ramping down. This will allow us to maintain consistent pressure on the adversary over the coming days, disrupt their launch timelines, and impose cost every day around the clock. I know there have been a lot of questions about munitions. We have sufficient precision munitions for the task at hand, both on the offense and defense.
Okay, so all that shit, that rhetoric of, oh, the United States is running out of ammunition and running out of weapons. You just clarified that.
We have sufficient precision munitions for the task at hand, both on the offense and defense. But I want to tell you, teammates, as a matter of practice, I don't want to be talking about quantities. And I know there's been a great debate about that, and I appreciate the interest, but just know that we consider that an operational security matter. Let me flip to the map here. Hopefully I don't kill anybody with a laser pointer. As I mentioned earlier, and for you with the camera right there, my friend, I hope I don't ricochet off and hurt you. Over the initial days, the U.S. Joint Forces continued to attack and attrit ballistic missile capabilities as well as integrated air defense capabilities along the southern axis.
This wouldn't spark World War III.
The northern axis, Israel and the Israeli Air Force has predominantly been working integrated air defense targets along the northern flank, as well as medium-range ballistic missile capability as well. From the sea, the USS Ford has continued to project combat power here, as well as the bomber pulses that we talked about in the opening days of this briefing. Along the southern axis, the USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group has continued to provide pressure from the sea along the southeastern side of the coast and has been attriting naval capability all along the strait and up into the Arabian Gulf at a size and scale sufficiently to address the targets required. To date, we've hit over 2,000 targets, as Admiral Cooper said in his video last night. We've destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, including, in addition to...
Damn, the last number we heard was 9 Navy vessels from, the Iranian Naval Service or whatever they call themselves. But wow, 20?
We've destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, including, in addition to the frigate outside of the area, 1 submarine, and effectively neutralized at this point in time Iran's major naval presence in theater out there. As the Secretary showed the video, for the first time since 1945, a United States Navy fast attack submarine has sunk an enemy combatant ship using a single Mark 48 torpedo to achieve immediate effects, sending the warship to the bottom of the sea. I want to remind everybody that this is an incredible demonstration of America's global reach. To hunt, find, and kill an out-of-area deployer is something that only the United States can do at this type of scale. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, CENTCOM will continue to strike infrastructure and naval capability, and we'll continue to assess our progress against the military objectives. It does take time for us to collect that information and to assess en route. Much of our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability is currently hunting and killing ballistic missile launchers and one-way attack capability. We're precise in that assessment, and we call balls and strikes in that assessment. We take that matter seriously. Iran, on the other hand, has been indiscriminate and more imprecise in their attacks. They fired more than 500 ballistic missiles and more than 2,000 drones, striking innocent civilian targets throughout the region. Our partners are answering the call to defend themselves right alongside us. Jordan, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait are all defending their people with their own combat capability, with precision and restraint. Jordanian air defense crews recently intercepted a cluster of Iranian one-way attack drones headed to Amman. Bahrain's air defense forces shot down an inbound drone approaching Manama's maritime infrastructure, protecting both their population and critical shipping lanes. Saudi Patriot battery stopped a salvo of ballistic missiles aimed at energy facilities near Dhahran. The UAE neutralized multiple drones targeting Abu Dhabi's industrial zone, demonstrating speed and precision. And Qatari fighters for the first time have shot down 2 Iranian bombers that were en route to their location. Together, these nations are helping to defend themselves and project power as required against the enemy. We're 100 hours in. It's still very early, as the Secretary said, but the balance is shifting. We've always got to remember that these operations...
Yeah, the Pentagon has already come out and said that this is going to be roughly about what they think, anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks. That's what they're saying, SST.
Operations are complex, dangerous, and far from over. Our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen remain in harm's way, and we must be clear-eyed that the risk is still high. This is combat. Let us never forget this.
TVT, we sure are, man. It's been a lot of news going on, obviously, this week. So we've been on overtime every day this week so far.
As we continue, I ask that we hold all of our deployed teammates in our thoughts, those standing the watch, flying the sorties, sustaining the fight, and carrying our nation's burden. And I'll stop where I started, and that's remembering our 6 fallen who will return home as soon as possible. I remain humbled, grateful, inspired by every day the valor and professionalism of our joint force. They are quiet professionals through and through, out there doing America's work through the day and through the darkness. And with that, I'll take your questions along with the Secretary.
We don't need to listen to any questions. We just need to get that aspect out because, as you guys know, we only do an hour show and we're already 20 minutes over. So listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. We're going to be back this evening at 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Diamond Effect. We're going to be talking about Iran, obviously. So make sure you guys tune into that, and it's going to be a great time. And for more of the world's madness, we'll be back tomorrow morning, of course, at the same bad channel, same bad time, everything. So listen, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Make sure you guys stick around. We're going to send you guys over to where the White House press briefing is going to be. I'm sending you guys over to the Associated Press, and they've got a camera over there or whatever. But they haven't started yet. They start in like 40 minutes. So follow them or whatever. At least you guys know I'm giving you guys the information where to get the White House press briefing because it's not started yet. So anyways, much love, honor, respect, everybody. We'll see you guys very soon. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning.